Well, hello there, all you beautiful people, and welcome back to the Mosh Mob channel. I am your friendly neighborhood Mosh Pit, and today's going to be a bit of a slower paced video. Just a one-on-one, me and you face-to-face, talking about a topic that is really near and dear to my heart, a topic that I've been trying to figure out how to talk about for a really long time. We're going to get to know each other. Actually, you guys are going to get to know me a lot better. We're going to discuss it. The topic that I've chosen for today is facial palsy. Now, this is something I don't really talk about too much with too many people, but it's something that affects my life every single day. What is facial palsy? The medical terms for it, how it affects my life personally, and what are the options for the future. So if you don't know what facial palsy is, here is my perspective. So as you can see right here, I have a bit of a crooked smile. That also means my eye doesn't really close all the way, or it blinks kind of weird. And that is because the muscles on this side of my face are dead, so it doesn't pull this side of my face up, so it gives me a bit of a crooked smile. I'll come a bit closer. Hold up. Can you see it? I got a bit of a crooked smile, and then my eye on this side doesn't really close all the way. It's kind of weird, so it really it makes me look kind of crazy, and it's something I have to deal with every single day. I look in the mirror, I have to see it. All the pictures that I take, I have to see it. It affects my daily life. It has since I was a child. Now, I was born with it, and that is why it's called facial palsy. A lot of people get Bell's palsy throughout their lives, and Bell's palsy and facial palsy are sort of the same thing, but Bell's palsy you can get throughout your life and it'll go away, or you can be born with it and it'll go away. You can have a stroke or some kind of traumatic experience, get Bell's palsy, and have something like this happen, and then it'll eventually go away. You can have surgery or eventually just goes away. Facial palsy is something that I was born with, and from my perspective, here's my story. So I was born with facial palsy. They used to call it Bell's palsy when I was younger because they thought it would eventually go away. Now, it was caused because when I was inside my mother's stomach, I was laid up against the uterine walls, or I don't know the correct medical term for it. I was laid up against the walls of her stomach on this side, and while I was laid up, it killed this whole nerve because I was just laid up wrong inside the womb, the stomach area of my mother. So that's what happened. So I came out into life like this. This is how I always look. This is how I always have looked. I had surgery for it when I was like 15, 16. And it helped a little bit. It helped pull up this side of my face a bit more. It used to be a lot worse, but it didn't really. My nerve in this side of my face has been dead for a really long time, so they had to take a nerve out of my leg, and I didn't go in for the second surgery. There's another option. There's other options to help fix this. I'm sure there is. I've done some research on doctors and stuff. I don't have money like that, and it's been 34 years on this planet. I'm 34 years old, and I've lived with this my entire life. That means to go through pre-K, elementary school, middle school, high school. All my life has been affected by this every single day of my life. And I haven't really met too many other people with facial palsy. I have met people that have had Bell's palsy. I really don't meet too many people who even know what facial palsy is. And the thing about facial palsy, the thing about me, people will say they don't notice it. It's one of the things I bring up right away as soon as I meet somebody, so they don't think I'm weird. It's something that affects my life. I look in the mirror, I know what it is, I know what people are seeing. Before it even makes people uncomfortable, I have to tell them what it is. And I'm not sure if that's a psychological thing or there's anything that could stop that, but when I meet a new person, if I meet a new friend, even when I'm talking to somebody on the street, if I kind of catch them looking a weird way, because it does look weird. Like, I mean, I kind of talk normal. You can't really tell kind of like this if I'm just talking normal. But if I am smiling, having a good time, it does kind of like, I know it's on people's minds, and I know it's on everybody's minds. So when people try to downplay it, that actually hurts me a lot more, because it's like, I know you're looking at it. Let me just explain what it is real quick so you're not staring at it, so you understand. It's not from drugs. It's not from getting beat up in prison. It's not from getting hit with a shovel like little Nicky. It's none of that crazy stuff. I was born straight out of the womb. I was laid up against my mother's the lining of her interior walls just killed the nerve, and it never worked for me. So as you can see, this side of my face doesn't smile, but this side does, and so that's probably affected my vision in the long term. And as you can see, again, I'm trying to look at this the screen, my bad. But yeah, as you can see, this eye doesn't really close all the way, and it waters a lot because at night it gets all scratched up. Throughout my life, throughout the 34 years on Earth, my eye has gotten scratched up. I can still see out of both my eyes. And I don't want to get anybody wrong. I am thankful for a lot in my life. But I had to get this off my chest, and I wanted to talk to you guys about it. So we're going to go ahead and switch over here real quick. I'm not sure how long this video is going to be, but I'm trying to be as heartfelt as possible. I probably won't do too much editing in this video. It's, like I said, it's just me and you sitting here talking. So I'm going to go ahead and switch screens right here. We're going to go into the definition of Google of what facial palsy actually is right here. It says, facial palsy is a condition that affects the ability to move the muscles on one or both sides of the face. It can be caused by a number of things, including Bell's palsy, which I spoke to you guys about. It's the most common type of facial palsy. Bell's palsy is a sudden, temporary weakness or paralysis of the facial muscles. It's often associated with viral infections, but the exact cause is unknown. You can also get it from a stroke. A stroke can cause facial paralysis that comes on rapidly. It may also affect other muscles on one side of the body. You can get facial or Bell's palsy from a brain tumor. Facial paralysis caused by a brain tumor usually develops slowly and may be accompanied by headaches, seizures, or hearing loss. Congenital conditions, facial paralysis can be present at birth, which is what I have, what I'm dealing with throughout my life. I have congenital facial palsy. That just doesn't sound attractive at all. Also trauma. Trauma during birth can cause facial paralysis in newborns. So yeah, I have congenital traumatic facial palsy from a lot of stuff was going on during my mother's birth and shit that caused me being lined up against it. It's a lot of personal stuff before I was even born that I have no idea of. I have an idea of. I have a clear image of what traumatic event has happened to maybe have me lined up differently in my mother's womb and maybe come out with congenital fucking facial palsy. Excuse my language. Other causes can be facial paralysis, can also be caused by infections, Lyme disease, I can't say that word, sarcoidosis, side effects of certain medicines or other conditions. It goes on to say symptoms of facial palsy include weakness or paralysis of the face, pain or abnormal sensations in the face, changes in taste, drooling, dry eyes, difficulty speaking, eating, or drinking, facial or ear pain, headache, ringing in your ears, tinnitus, sensitive to sounds, hyperacute, I don't know what that says. But anyway, so let's go through that real quick. So obviously I have weakness or paralysis in my face. This whole side of my face, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. This side does. See? Crooked smile. It's crazy. I don't really get pain or abnormal sensations in the face. I don't get any tingling. It doesn't affect anything besides my looks and obviously my mental state. Changes in taste. Food doesn't taste any different. I smoked for a long time, so I'm trying to learn how to taste food again. Drooling, I don't drool. I mean, unless I'm sleeping on a pillow at night, you know, I drool. Everybody drools. Don't lie to me. You drool at night when you're sleeping. Dry eyes, I do get that in this eye because it waters a lot. Actually, this eye waters so fucking much. It's crazy. And I'm constantly having to do that. So if you ever see me doing that, I'm not crying. No, I'm not crying. It's called tearing because my eye gets so dry at night because it's open a little bit all the time. Difficulty speaking, eating or drinking. Eating or drinking I don't have any problems with. Speaking sometimes because I talk a little fast and sometimes my words don't come out all the way. Sometimes it's in my mind, it sounds like I'm saying all these different words, but I'm talking really, really fast. But I don't think that has to do with the facial palsy. Headaches, ringing, nothing like that. I don't really have sensitivity to sounds. I do have light sensitivity in my eyes, probably from staring at screens all my life. But I do spend a lot of time outside, so when I'm outside I wear special glasses to keep sunlight from going in my eyes and stuff, because it hurts after a while. Let's see some pictures of it. I mean, you already got a clear grip of what I look like, but here you can see some more pictures. Oh, you won't be able to see me, but that's okay. I'm right behind it. So as you can see, here's some pictures. Neat pictures of what facial palsy would look like, Bell's palsy, all this, how it affects one side of the face. It could affect both sides too, so you can get paralyzed on both sides of your face. I haven't met too many people who have it. There's been a few people who have had it. I met a clerk at a 7-Eleven that had it, and she was talking to me about it. She was like, "Oh, facial palsy." It blows my mind when somebody can say some people will know Bell's palsy. They've heard that term before, but a lot of people will not refer to it as facial palsy. So when people do, it's crazy to me. It means like, oh, they actually kind of know what I've been through. But anyway, I wanted to discuss this a bit more. The options that I've had throughout my life are when I was younger, I wore an eye patch over my eye. I remember doing that because it was supposed to strengthen my eye, but that had something to do with vision. But it all is affected my whole vision, my whole face, the whole smile, my teeth. All of it is affected from this. Just the physical looks. It wears down. It's worn down my self-esteem. That's the thing. I try to be happy and positive and as easygoing as possible every single day, and like be happy and grateful for who I am. But how do you do that when you have to look yourself in the mirror every single day, or in a picture with somebody, anybody, and look at yourself like this? This just isn't right. So that's something I live with every single day. I just want everybody to understand that. I want you to feel that. I'm sure there's stuff about all of us that we all dislike. We're all our worst critics. But when it's as apparent as this is every single day, it starts to wear down on you. I am very happy and grateful and thankful for everything I have in my life. Yeah, but if I could figure out a way to fix this, it would be a lot better. I just don't have money like that, and I'm not reaching out for anybody to give me money like that. I haven't done GoFundMe. I don't even know how I would feel about it because I've lived with this for so long. 34 years of living with facial palsy, and just the change up that I would have in my life to actually fix this and get my whole symmetrical face going and figure this out would be phenomenal. It would open up my world, I think. It would just help me not have to feel like I had to explain myself to strangers all the time. Be like, hey, I'm not crazy. And I look normal. I've done a lot with my appearance. I cut my dreads and everything. I'm just like, it's hard to feel like you don't fit in with society, because every time you go outside, you feel like as soon as somebody talks to you, you're gonna have to explain why your face looks like this. Yeah. So that's why I've become so much of an introvert in my life. It's affected a lot of my life in general, my social life, my mentality, my personal self-esteem, all that. How I look at myself, how I feel other people look at me. Even though I know I'm a generally nice person and I do good things and I just want to help people and I want people to look at me normal, it can't happen until I figure out this. Until I figure out how to do something about this. And I know there's a way to do something about it. I don't know. It's something that I'll just have to learn to live with forever. And that's fine. 34 years of it. It's totally fine. But again, I don't know. But that's how it's affected my life. All through middle school, high school. You know, all the nicknames. Kids can be cruel. So if this is something that you're dealing with, if you ever had to deal with Bell's palsy or facial palsy, anything like that, just know that I know what you're going through. I know that people are going to tell you that they're not even thinking about it. They didn't even notice it. They weren't even looking at it until you brought it up. And even if that was true, it doesn't matter, because inside my brain, you were already thinking about it. So it could be like the last thing on your mind. You could be like, this guy is super cute. But all I'm thinking is, oh God, I hope they don't think that I did a bunch of heroin and fucked my fucking face up, or I got stabbed, or I got smacked with a shovel. Little Nicky was a tough movie to get through. I loved Little Nicky, and I loved Adam Sandler and Jim Carrey. Oh man, but yeah, those days back in middle school, high school, Little Nicky and all that was kind of rough for me. And but I worked through it. I've had therapy and shit. I worked through it. I'm very happy. I know that I look good, but it's also something that I just have to constantly live with. And if you've ever had to deal with something like this, I've seen. I feel bad even kind of talking about it, because I've seen people worse off than me, and people just need help in general. Little things like that, like cleft lips and all that. I've done a lot of work with cleft children and teenagers with clefts, and it's just it destroys the self-esteem of the individual, so much so that to have something like that fixed in a day and age where we can fix those type of things and give that child or that individual a chance to have that off of their mind, is such a restrictive force on our own minds that I had to think about how I'm going to explain myself and the way I look every day to people, or know that if I go outside, somebody's already judging me based on just how I look, no matter how I've helped them or I'm going to help the world in the future. There's a bunch of successful people who probably feel like they're worse off than I am, and it's just looks. But I don't know where I'm going with this anymore. So before I don't know. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you'd like to discuss more about facial palsy, Bell's palsy, I'd like to talk more about it too. I'd like more people to reach out to me who have had Bell's palsy and facial palsy, so we can kind of maybe like start a charity fund or something to like help other people who have facial palsy or get facial palsy throughout their lives. Or if there's a charity or donation that already has to do with helping people get surgeries for this or whatever they need to do, I'd like to be part of that. So this is me reaching out to you guys, letting you being as open as I possibly ever could be. This is me. I am your friendly neighborhood mosh pit, here with facial palsy till who knows. But I love you guys so very much, and this is my journey. I hope you guys had a good one. See you next time.